Hey guys and replay viewers. Hope you guys are having a super awesome day. Sorry I'm just a few minutes late. I got distracted by a couple emails and I totally lost track of the time. Oops. Hello. Hope you guys are having an awesome afternoon. Since we're talking about freezer cooking, I used the Easter egg hashtag so that we could get some lovely fridges put up on the side of our screen. Because if that is not fitting, I'm not sure what is. Hey Lori, how are you today? I'm so into butter. That should be my screen name instead of so into fabric. Okay, so maybe that's a good screenshot. Hey everybody! Okay. Hey guys, I'm actually going to be working on a little bit of a new format. So we're going to start that today. It also includes me, you love it, yeah. It also includes me using, what's this called, landscape? Landscape instead of portrait, so that I can repurpose some videos. And I know I'm supposed to be looking in this hole, so I will as I'm looking at your comments. So I hope it doesn't look weird. Guess who else is scoping about? Oh, Rebecca. This was actually requested since I finished my freezer meal list that you guys had asked for on Instagram, so that's why I'm scoping that today. We're going to try something different as I move to a new format. So let me tell you guys about it, and I probably will say it at least a few more times just so you guys can get used to it as I'm practicing this week. But I'm going to be shooting in a landscape mode so that I can repurpose my videos for YouTube and add those to my channel because I've had some requests for that. Yeah, it's harder to look at the camera. I tried to fix it. So if I'm talking right now, do you guys see me talking to you instead of reading comments? Because that's what I'm trying to do. I'm also going to move to the format where I greet you all up first, and then I give the bulk of my information, and then I take questions at the end so that I can cut out that middle section to be able to use because my YouTube channel needs some new content. I'm feeling pretty good today. Thank you for asking. Yeah, yesterday was a little bit rough, but doing better today. So there's some good, yeah, we're getting ready to talk about that. So yay. Next time I've already decided I'm probably going to get the denim because I really liked the denim that they sell as well. Okay guys, hello, my name is Stacy from humorhomemaking.com, where my husband and I talk about how to manage your home. We talk about home management tips, and we do it with a side of attitude and spunk because managing your home should not be dull. And today we are going to talk a little bit about freezer cooking because I have finished my list for this fourth baby, and I have done my freezer cooking just a little bit different this time. I've done it different every time, but this method that I have used this time so far has been my favorite. I feel like I've been able to get more done and that I have more in the freezer than I have had the last time. Now, I am not normally a fan of freezer cooking. It's not my favorite thing to do because I actually enjoy cooking our meals daily. I know that's not the thing for most people. Hey Karen. Oh, I see I just broke my own rule. But it works for me when I'm pregnant because then after the baby comes, I don't have to worry about getting meals on the table because I can spend time with the kids and with the baby, and we're all getting to know each other, and I don't have to stop and put the pressure on me to provide a meal. So that's why I do it for freezer cooking. Now I'm going to show you the list that I have this time. I have not provided links for all of them. I will show you that a few times so that you can see it. As always, if you have any questions or any, hey, where is that recipe? I can tell you that. You can send me a tweet. I'm at humorhomemaking on Twitter, or you can go to humorhomemaking.com and send me an email with the contact tab. And this is where you can find us. So I'm going to flip you around and show you this list, and I'm going to leave it up a little bit in case someone wants to get a screenshot, and then I'll tell you just a little bit about how I have done my freezer cooking differently this time. Now, let me see. There we go. Okay, so my goal was 14 meals, 14 breakfasts, and 14 dinners. And actually, I was able to get 21. So I got a lot more than I thought, which makes me feel a whole lot better. And so now I'm kind of here and there focusing on breads to put in the freezer. As I have the opportunity, I would like to make pretzels this week, but I don't know if I'm going to get around to it. But a lot of these will serve us twice. Some will just serve us once. I have a chest freezer, but I don't have a vest freezer. And see, I broke my own rule again. So you all are going to take lots of practice from me. Well, I'm going to take lots of practice from you all. One of those. So this is the list, and so here's how I did it differently. Last time, what my method was to make meal components instead of actual full meals, and that was when I had Eli. And so I didn't make full meals and put them in the freezer like casseroles and that type of thing. Instead, I did things like cooked chicken breasts so that I could make a quick meal, or taco meat, or just anything else that I could quickly put together to make a meal. Whereas this time my focus was on trying to make the meat or the bulk of the meal, so all I have to do is add a vegetable. And I think I'm going to like that better this time. I did that when I was pregnant with Annie, and it worked out very well. So with the meals that I have chosen this time, I will be able to just pull the meat out, which is the main dish, and then add sides to it. So for that, I actually have already gone to Sam's and got the freezer vegetables, because I can put those in my deep freezer. I have two deep freezers. I have an upright and a chest freezer, and then I keep those vegetables in there so I can pull my main dish out, and then I can quickly heat up a vegetable to go with that main dish, and then our dinner is all the way done. So I did use a lot of the tips in this cookbook this time. This it's got a glare. Okay, there we go. This cookbook has been very helpful to me this time, and the reason is, well, Jessica's pretty awesome. I love all her cookbooks anyway, but in hers, she gives a whole bunch of tips at the beginning about how it's best to do freezer cooking, and then she gives you grocery lists and stuff like that. And then the part that I like is that with each recipe, as you can see right here, she's going to give you the recipe and then tell you how to do it. But then over on the other side, she's going to tell you exactly how to freeze it, and then exactly how to thaw it and prepare it after that. A lot of the freezer meals that you may find online may not give you those exact instructions where they tell you, okay, freeze it this way, and this is how you thaw it, and then once it's thawed, this is how you cook it. Now, I'm going to put the link for this book. You can find that at humorhomemaking.com/scope. I'll put the exact Amazon link, but it has really saved my butt this freezer meal cooking round. I will not lie, especially because of the tips for exactly how to freeze it, and then how to thaw it, how to prepare it after you have thawed it. So I would, if you don't, have the money, which I think it's worth the money, it's around $10 to $12, then I'm sure that I've seen it at the library as well. So I would check your library if you don't. And then some of the other meals that I included were just meals that we normally eat, and whenever I was cooking them, I would just double them. So that's how I got a majority of all of these. So we really like baked oatmeal. So whenever I would make a batch of baked oatmeal for us to eat for breakfast, I just made 2, and then I put half of it in the freezer. Or she has 3. She has Good Cheap Eats, 30 minutes or less. She has this one, and then she has the smoothie cookbook, and they are all fantastic. I have not had a cookbook from Jessica that I did not love like whoa. So this is a holler out for Jessica's cookbooks. I have several of them linked at the website. So that's that. So that's what I did. I just doubled our meals so that I could put half of it in the freezer, and then we could eat the other half for dinner. And it was not any extra effort for me, because if you're already making it one time, it's not really that much extra effort to make double the batch. And I don't really have a whole lot of energy right now for extra effort anyway. So that's how I was able to make it work. Now, someone asked me on Instagram, I'm at Humorous Homemaking on Instagram, if I had to increase our grocery budget any to make this work. And the answer is just a little. I actually didn't have to increase it as much as I thought. Because since, it just really didn't seem to come out that much to make my grocery budget go up that much. because I don't have to add all of the sides right now or all of the vegetables. I'm just actually doubling the main course. And since we purchase our meat usually in bulk, that helped a lot with not having to increase the grocery budget. So now, how did I freeze? I tried to freeze in pans this time. Now, I know a lot of people are not into the foil pans, but this time I was all about ease because I needed to get it done and I needed to get it done quickly. In the past, I have used my glass dishes to freeze things in, but because I don't want my glass dishes in the freezer because I need to use them, I would line them with parchment paper and then bake my casserole in there and stick it in the freezer. When it was frozen and hard, I could take it out and pull out the parchment paper and put that casserole down into a Ziploc bag and put it back in the freezer. And then whenever I was ready to thaw it and cook it, then it would fit directly back down into that dish because it was already formed. But this time, I just, like I said, you can call it laziness or you call it whatever. I just went foil for everything unless I could get it in a freezer Ziploc. And then if I was able, if it was a meal that would go into a freezer Ziploc, then that's where it went. So I put all the soups in Ziploc. The breads went in Ziploc. The sloppy joes went in Ziploc. Anything like that, I put down into a freezer Ziploc, and then whenever I will want to get it out, I will run it under hot water and it will just pop right out of that Ziploc bag to freeze or cook in whatever dish that I so desire. So that's why I went with the disposable pans this time, because I needed to get it done and I didn't want to have the extra effort. And let's just be honest, disposable pans, whenever you don't feel like washing dishes, they're the stuff, man. And that's why I went with that. But I probably was able to use more Ziplocs than I thought that I would be able to than with foil pans. So that's my list and that's my tips for this time and how I was able to make it work. I will show the list one more time in case someone didn't get the screenshot, and then I will take your questions. As I said, you can also tweet me. I am at humorhomemaking on Twitter, and at humorhomemaking.com you can send me an email on the contact tab. So I'm going to show the freezer meal list one more time. Okay. Here we go. And that equals 21 meals, which is 3 weeks for us of meals that I now currently have in the freezer. So, I hope you guys found that helpful and the tips helpful as well. I can answer questions at any time, and you guys know where to find me. So, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope that was just a little bit helpful. There you have it. That's all she wrote. Okay, so if you have any questions now, I can take those about specific recipes or anything else. I was trying not to pay attention whenever you guys were, but as I can tell, it's going to take some practice for me because I'm used to talking to you guys while I talk. So, yes, definitely this cookbook if you're into the freezer cooking thing. So, have I made the soy? No, I have not made that. I didn't have any tenderloin this time, and I was too cheap to go out and buy one when I had a freezer full of venison and beef. So most of mine in the freezer this time is venison and beef. How do you do things that won't be soggy? Can you give me a specific example? Because usually I just thaw in the refrigerator overnight, and then I have it the next day to reheat for dinner. And I've actually found that a lot of things are better after being frozen than they were. The lawnmower tacos has the chips in it, but the way that it's made is they kind of crisp up a little bit more in the oven, but whenever they come out, it's going to taste like tortillas and not like chips. So the cookbook she suggested, here's the first one, and they're all by Jessica Fisher. She has Good Cheap Eats in 30 minutes or less. She has this one, and then she has a smoothie one. Do your young kids? Yes, my children love casseroles. So, yes, it comes out tasting like an enchilada casserole, but the lawnmower tacos, you guys, and lawnmower tacos are in here, but they're also at goodcheapeats.com. Does that freezer cookbook have a lot of veggies? A lot of them are just main course, not a ton of vegetables, I wouldn't say. Some of them, yes, but I mean, not of them. She's Jessica G. Fisher on Periscope. Absolutely, thank you, Amira. And Do they taste any different than fresh? No. I think actually some of them taste better, especially things like sloppy joes and soup that have had the ability to sit, because you guys know soup is always better the next day. I always freeze bread items baked. I do not freeze them as dough ever. So, but yes, the lawnmower tacos Jessica has in here, and she has, I think, in one of her other cookbooks, but it's also at goodcheapeats.com, and they are really good. If you do, I always cook everything before I freeze it. I don't freeze a meal raw because I don't really see the point. I want to be able to cook it all the way so that when I pull it out, all I have to do is reheat it, and not, oh, it's actually at Life as Mom. I would just, I found it the first time actually by searching on Pinterest lawnmower tacos, and that's where I found it the easiest. Yay, tortillas! But actually, that's where I found lawnmower tacos, was on Pinterest and not actually on her website. So I was just kind of guessing, since I think it's in the Good Cheap Eats book too. So, yay, tortillas! Does anybody have any more questions? If not, I'm going to get off here and try to get something done. I apologize for this being my first scope where I try to get happy with doing the landscape. I'm usually with Barry when I'm doing landscape, but I'm trying to make sure tortillas rock and roll. So it will take me a little bit of practice, but I feel like if I'm going to spend the time on here, I need to be able to repurpose the content so that I'm killing two birds with one stone. I used to have a baking day, but now I just bake as needed because it's actually dependent for me on time and what we're doing that day and how I feel. So I don't do a whole baking day anymore. So I actually love leftovers. So I don't have, nobody here has a problem with leftovers. I grew up on leftovers, and so did Barry. So it's actually kind of, you know, how we do life here with leftovers. And if I didn't have leftovers, they really, really save my behind. I'm not going to lie. Pizza for breakfast. Only if it's hot. My husband likes it cold, but I think that's gross. So, you guys, I hope you have an awesome day. Lisa, I really like how you put catch at the bottom of your post. I think it's awesome. Leftovers. You never have any leftover. I usually cook with the intention of having leftovers. So, if it's going to be a small meal, I try to give up it so that I can have it. Do you have a set time? I just work as I have the time. Usually that's in the afternoon around 3 o'clock. And that's when but a lot of people do theirs in the morning because that's the time of day that they have. But in the morning we're doing school here, so I don't have that time. Lisa is not lazy. Lisa is awesome. Okay, well, you guys, let me tell you that I sometimes go back and look at my catch to see your comments. So make sure that you have Twitter, because there have been a few times when I went to my catch to respond to your questions because I didn't get them live. I've tried to respond to you, and a lot of you people aren't even on Twitter. What's the matter with you people? I mean, for real. How can I respond to you on Twitter if you don't have a Twitter account? Okay, so if I have not responded to a question that you ask when you're, asking on here, it's because I tried and you didn't have an account. And also I feel the need to tell you people up in here, that, before when I was telling you guys that I always respond, how to respond on catch, I just use your name and then I try to send a tweet. So, that's how I do it. I said I responded to everybody's emails, and then I realized that some people aren't getting my responses because my new email is blocked by a lot of email servers because it's so new that they see it as spam. So if you've emailed me and I didn't, how do you post? You're posting it right now. So there you go. If you have emailed me and you have not heard back from me, it's because I've been blocked. I'm so sorry. So that's that. And our email service has told us that there's no way for us to fix that until I have that email address for a while. So that's why I'm always telling people to send me a tweet, because that way I know that I've seen it and have answered. So I hope you guys have a good day, and thank you for all your questions and your comments and your hearts and your refrigerators, and for can you ask questions on, no, you can't comment on catch, but you can always get me on Twitter or on the blog using the contact tab. So you guys have an awesome afternoon. And Rebecca says she's going to scope about freezer cooking a little bit later. So you guys make sure you hop on and watch Rebecca's scope. She's at Simply Rebecca on her freezer cooking. So I'm at Humor Homemaking on Twitter. You guys have an awesome day. I will see you maybe tomorrow. As I told you as we get towards the end, it just depends on how things are going here and if I feel like doo-doo. Because if I feel like doo-doo, nobody wants to see that. So you can always find me on Instagram. And just because I'm not here doesn't mean I'm in the hospital having a baby. So you guys have an awesome day. And I will see you later. And remember, in the walk of life, it's only too late if you're dead.